always, viewers, the most critical story, the story that can influence the national discourse. First up on India Upfront. Viewers, our interest in exposing the false reporting by The Wire extends, and I want to underline this, extends only to create enough awareness about the extent of the moral wrong. By doing so, we hope to empower you, the viewer, with the truth, so that you, the honest people of this country, rise up and pressure certain international organizations to reverse the wrong they have inflicted upon the image of our great nation, India. The Wire's reportage that the news portal, it's no secret, viewers, this reportage that the news portal has itself retracted was amplified, mark my words, amplified by international organizations. Some use the reports to lower India's rating on the critical Freedom Index. Viewers, around the world, India is known as being the world's largest democracy. It's our ticket, viewers, to greatness. We band together despite our differences because of our great, thriving democracy. We are a bright spot in Asia because of our democracy. These organizations hoped that the negative ratings, the talk of democratic backsliding, would discourage prospectors and thought leaders to invest in India's rise, to talk about India's rise. Written off as just another anarchic, tin pot, despotic state, India would remain a backwater posing no challenge to the world order, to the dominance of Western and Eastern powers. That is what they hoped by lowering our ratings on this very vital component, the openness, the transparency of our democracy, viewers. None of these agencies, Freedom House, etc., that based their assessment of India's brightest spot, our democracy, have changed the ratings. Viewers, The Wire has retracted its stories. These agencies, these international organizations that picked up The Wire's, by its own admission, false reportage, have not corrected their ratings. They have not had, viewers, the decency, the integrity to say that they are going to make amends. They are insulting, viewers, 1.3 billion Indians. In our endeavor to expose the truth, viewers, we have been unrelenting. And today, we have tracked down the reporter The Wire has scapegoated to save its own face. The Wire is building this narrative that it was fooled by somebody, by this reporter who gave them false documents, etc., to create this great expose, that they are not to blame, that they were lambs, silently led into believing something that they would never have printed. Viewers, this is now beginning to look more and more unlikely. Viewers, I don't think any of these people at The Wire or those that are supporting The Wire thought that Times Now would get to this particular individual who is being scapegoated by The Wire. That's right. That's right, viewers. He's the man who has been pinned down as the sole mastermind of the Meta hoax expose in The Wire. The Wire has gone so far as to file a complaint against him and call him highly disturbed mentally. Not my words, The Wire's words. Highly disturbed mentally, in an exercise to discredit him. This is how, viewers, weasel-like this group is. You see, the buck always stops at the top. You won't find scapegoats. We have made mistakes. Times Now has made mistakes. I own up to those mistakes, viewers. I put my face, I come out. And I say, no, we messed up, we mucked up. Sorry about this. We'll make amends. So many times we've done so, viewers. No one has run away. No one is here filed a complaint against an employee. Viewers, the man that we are talking about is Divesh Kumar, and he's speaking today for the first time. And he's breaking his silence on Times Now. It's a super exclusive that completely demolishes the fig leaf of a defense that Wire has put out in its complaint against him. Listen to Divesh Kumar for the first time ever on national TV. This is a Times Now super exclusive news break.
चीजें चल रही हैं सारी, इस बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
इस बारे में मेरा स्टैंड वही है जो वायर का स्टैंड है कि जो रिपोर्टिंग इंस्टाग्राम और मेटा के आधार पे हमने की थी, उस रिपोर्टिंग में हमसे गलती हुई है। बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंट जो हमारे पास आए हैं अलग अलग जगह से, वो डॉक्यूमेंट सही नहीं हैं, और जिस कारण से वायर ने जो स्टोरी नीचे ले गई है उस वही तक मेरा स्टैंड है। उसके बाद ना मेरे पास कोई नोटिस आया है, ना कोई डॉक्यूमेंट आया है जिसके आधार पे हम कुछ कह सकें। अभी 2 दिन पहले क्राइम ब्रांच वाले आए थे, और जिस तरह से वायर के और एम्प्लॉयज़ और अकाउंट ऑफिस और प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर जैसे मिथुन है मुंबई में, उन सब का कंप्यूटर सीज़ हुआ है, जो लोग एफआईआर में शामिल हैं भी या नहीं भी है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन के पर्पज़ से। उसी तरह से मेरा कंप्यूटर, 2 कंप्यूटर और 1 फ़ोन, दोनों भी सीज़ किया है उन्होंने, और वो पूछताछ करने के लिए आए थे। अभी मुझे उन्होंने दिल्ली बुलाया है और पूछताछ करने के लिए। केस के सिलसिले में मुझे कोई नोटिस नहीं है, मैं किसी एफआईआर में शामिल नहीं हूँ, इस तरह का कोई नोटिस ना मुझे आया है, ना मुझे उसके बारे में कोई जानकारी है।
अच्छा, एक बात आ रही है कि जो वायर ने जो कंप्लेंट फाइल की थी आपके अगेंस्ट पुलिस के साथ, उसने कहा है कि आप मेंटली अनसाउंड हैं, मेंटली अनस्टेबल हैं।
नहीं, मेंटली अनसाउंड अनस्टेबल ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि पहली बार ऐसा कुछ हुआ है मेरी ज़िंदगी में, और जो है परेशानी वाले दौर से हम लोग सब गुजर रहे हैं, वायर के लोग भी गुजर रहे हैं, मैं भी गुजर रहा हूँ। तो थोड़ा नर्वस थे, थोड़ा जो है टेंशन में थे, पर उससे वो मुझे लगता है कि जो लैंग्वेज यूज़ किया गया है वो सही नहीं है।
अच्छा, ये बताइए कि ये सब कुछ हुआ कैसे, मतलब हाउ इट ऑल पैन्ड आउट?
ये जो है अभी इन्वेस्टिगेशन प्रोसेस के अंदर की चीज़ है। ये जो है मैं रिवील नहीं करना चाहूँगा बिना पुलिस को या फिर इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर को बताए हुए। मीडिया सामने मेरा स्टेटमेंट वही है, जो घटना का स्टेटमेंट, कहने का मतलब कि क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ, जो वायर का स्टेटमेंट है।
So don't you think that this is something an overreaching endeavor on part of police as far as the story going wrong is concerned?
पता नहीं मुझे उसके बारे में, मुझे इतना लॉ और इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में पता नहीं है। मैंने जिस तरह से वायर ने स्टेटमेंट रिलीज़ किया है, मैंने पुलिस के साथ पूरा कोऑपरेट किया। उन्होंने मेरा 2 कंप्यूटर और 1 फ़ोन जो सीज़ किया, मैंने पूरा कोऑपरेट किया। मुझे जानकारी जैसे हुई कि एक हैश वैल्यू जनरेट करके देना चाहिए आईटी एक्ट के अंदर, ताकि बाद में टेम्परिंग ना हो, वो पुलिस ने, मैंने ऑन द रिकॉर्ड उनसे बोला कल, पर उन्होंने मुझे कोई हैश दिया नहीं है जिससे मैं ये वेरीफाई कर सकूं कि मेरा डिवाइस जो है टेम्पर नहीं हुआ है। तो और बाकी उन्होंने मुझे एक कॉपी दी है जिसमें लिखा हुआ है कि ये कंप्यूटर और ये फ़ोन और कुछ ईमेल आईडी जो मैं यूज़ कर रहा था, जिससे मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन आया है या जिससे इन्वेस्टिगेशन के मैं यूज़ कर रहा था, वो जो है।
What is the legal recourse you are supposed to take?
कोई लीगल रिकोर्स अभी मैं फॉलो नहीं कर रहा हूँ। अभी जो है, जैसे मैंने कहा, मेरे पास कोई नोटिस नहीं आया है, मुझे कोई जानकारी नहीं है कि मेरे ऊपर कोई एफआईआर हुआ है। वायर ने एक रिपोर्ट छापी, उसमें बहुत सारे लोग इन्वॉल्व थे, मेरा नाम भी नहीं है रिपोर्ट में, शुरू के 2 रिपोर्ट में मेरा नाम नहीं है। जानवी और सिद्धार्थ का नाम है। और जो है कहने का मतलब ये कि जैसे मैंने बताया कि मिथुन भी हुआ है और एडिटर्स पे भी हुए हैं, ऑफिस में अकाउंटेंट्स पे भी हुए हैं, उसी तरह से मेरे पे भी कंप्यूटर सीज किया गया है। मुझे कोई लीगली कोर्स लेने की अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है और ना ही मैं अभी उसके बारे में सोच रहा हूँ, क्योंकि अभी जो है मुझे कोई भी जानकारी नहीं मिली है कि मेरे ऊपर क्या आरोप है, या मुझे सिर्फ इन्वेस्टिगेशन का प्रोसेस का पार्ट इसलिए बनाया है दिल्ली पुलिस ने ताकि जो जानकारी जो है अलग अलग जगह से सही ढंग से आ सके।
अच्छा, ये बताएं कि लेटेस्ट टॉक अबाउट समथिंग योर पर्सनल बायोडाटा एंड योर थिंग्स। आपकी स्कूलिंग और आपकी कॉलेज कहाँ से हुई?
ये जानकारी इस समय मैं देना नहीं चाहता। मेरे रिपोर्टिंग में क्या होता है कि रिपोर्टर डरता है और रिपोर्टर को लगता है, डरने की बात नहीं है, रिपोर्टर को ऐसा लगता है कि वो खुद स्टोरी ना बन जाए। मैं खुद स्टोरी नहीं हूँ यहाँ पे। जो स्टोरी है वो फेसबुक और मेटा के अगेंस्ट स्टोरी है। उस स्टोरी के बारे में वायर ने भी, और क्योंकि मैं वायर के साथ जो है उस वायर के साथ पहले जुड़ा रहा हूँ, जुलाई 2022 तक मैं जुड़ा रहा हूँ, उनके साथ काम किया है। अब तो मैं उनके साथ जो है कभी कभी कोई चीज़, छोटी मोटी चीज़ बोल देते हैं तो कर देता हूँ, पर ऐसा कोई मैं जुड़ा हुआ नहीं है। तो जो वायर का स्टैंड है वही मेरा एक थर्ड पर्सन की तरह वही मेरा स्टैंड है कि स्टोरी में गलतियाँ हुई हैं, स्टोरी में जो चीज़ है जिसके बारे में वायर ने माफ़ी मांगी है, उस चीज़ के बारे में मुझे भी पता है, मुझे भी उतनी ही जानकारी है जितनी आपकी है। आप लोगों की जानकारी अंदर के एडिटोरियल डिसीजंस और अंदर का जो इंटरनल इन्वेस्टिगेशन उनको किया है, मैं उसका हिस्सा नहीं हूँ। जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट आया था, मुझे जो भी इन्फॉर्मेशन आया था, मैंने उनसे शेयर कर दिया है। और पुलिस, जैसे मैंने कहा, दिल्ली पुलिस के पास दो कंप्यूटर और एक फ़ोन उन्होंने रख लिया है, सीज कर लिया है। और उसके बारे में जो है मैंने पूरी तरह से कोऑपरेट किया है।
Now viewers, this is the first time Divesh Kumar has spoken, and he has made it quite clear that this was a collaborative process where Siddharth Vardarajan, the editor, the founding editor of Wire, and Jahanvi Sen, another senior resource at the Wire, took bylines for the first two stories. So it's not enough to say, according to him, that Siddharth Vardarajan and company were led astray by just his reportage. In fact, he says that Vardarajan and Sen lent their name to the story originally, the first two stories. So they had to know what was in the story. The third biggest point he is making is that he is in no way mentally disturbed as being labeled by the Wire. He has no such history, and there is no basis for the complaint saying that he's highly mentally disturbed or attributing any other motives to him. But let's take this one by one. First, listen again to what Divesh says about who is responsible for the stories and the facts that go into those stories. Listen.
So don't you think that this is something, an overreaching endeavor on part of police as far as the story going wrong is concerned?
पता नहीं मुझे उसके बारे में, मुझे इतना लॉ और इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में पता नहीं है। मैंने जिस तरह से वायर ने स्टेटमेंट रिलीज़ किया है, मैंने पुलिस के साथ पूरा कोऑपरेट किया। उन्होंने मेरा दो कंप्यूटर और एक फ़ोन जो सीज किया, मैंने पूरा कोऑपरेट किया। मुझे जानकारी जैसे हुई कि एक हैश वैल्यू जनरेट करके देना चाहिए आईटी एक्ट के अंदर, ताकि बाद में टेम्परिंग ना हो, वो पुलिस ने, मैंने ऑन रिकॉर्ड उनसे बोला कल, पर उन्होंने मुझे कोई हैश दिया नहीं है जिससे मैं ये वेरीफाई कर सकूं कि मेरा डिवाइस जो है टेम्पर नहीं हुआ है। तो और बाकी उन्होंने मुझे एक कॉपी दी है जिसमें लिखा हुआ है कि ये कंप्यूटर और ये फ़ोन और कुछ ईमेल आईडी जो मैं यूज़ कर रहा था, जिससे मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन आया है या जिससे इन्वेस्टिगेशन के दौरान मैं यूज़ कर रहा था, वो जो है, इस बारे में मेरा स्टैंड वही है जो वायर का स्टैंड है कि जो रिपोर्टिंग इंस्टाग्राम और मेटा के आधार पे हमने की थी, उस रिपोर्टिंग में हमसे गलती हुई है। बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंट जो हमारे पास आए हैं अलग अलग जगह से, वो डॉक्यूमेंट सही नहीं हैं, और जिस कारण से वायर ने जो स्टोरी नीचे ले गई है वही तक मेरा स्टैंड है। उसके बाद ना मेरे पास कोई नोटिस आया है, ना कोई डॉक्यूमेंट आया है जिसके आधार पे हम कुछ कह सकें। अभी 2 दिन पहले क्राइम ब्रांच वाले आए थे, और जिस तरह से वायर के और एम्प्लॉयज़ और अकाउंट ऑफिस और प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर जैसे मिथुन है मुंबई में, उन सब का कंप्यूटर सीज हुआ है, जो लोग एफआईआर में शामिल हैं भी या नहीं भी है इन्वेस्टिगेशन के पर्पस से। उसी तरह से मेरा कंप्यूटर, 2 कंप्यूटर और एक फ़ोन, दोनों भी सीज किया है उन्होंने, और वो पूछताछ करने के लिए आए थे। अभी मुझे उन्होंने दिल्ली बुलाया है और पूछताछ करने के लिए। केस के सिलसिले में मुझे कोई नोटिस नहीं है, मैं किसी एफआईआर में शामिल नहीं हूँ, इस तरह का कोई नोटिस ना मुझे आया है, ना मुझे उसके बारे में कोई जानकारी है।
Now viewers, let's just quickly go over what he has said and corroborate this. Now these are some of the articles that came out. Divesh mentions that he wasn't given a byline on the first 2 Meta stories published on The Wire. His version checks out. Here are the 2 articles on Meta. There you can see them. The first says Jahanvi Sen is the author, while the second says that she co-authored this particular article with Siddharth Vardarajan. Nowhere does it name Divesh Kumar. So when it came to credit, apparently he didn't get it. But when it came to blame, he's now facing or taking the brunt of it. That's palpably unfair, it would appear, viewers. Now, we tried to contact Siddharth Vardarajan, the founder of The Wire, but clearly he has his hands full. Listen into this clip. Our colleague, senior editor, Siddharth Talia, called his number a short while back. We got this recorded message. Let's play that out.
Have their hands full at the moment and will not be able to take this call. Might we suggest you drop them an SMS?
Now, very quickly, I want to bring in Siddharth Talia, who's been tracking this story, and then I'm going to open this up, viewers, in the next 30-40 seconds. Siddharth, thank you very much. It's important to remind our viewers that The Wire has accused Divesh Kumar of being the individual who stumped them, bamboozled them with fake news. And they don't know at whose behest he was working, but they've sort of implied that he might in fact be some sort of a Trojan horse. But Divesh has countered this, hasn't he? So take us through this.
Absolutely, Rahul. So Divesh has countered this at multiple levels. The characterization, principal characterization of Divesh Kumar as highly disturbed mentally, and this was a claim made by The Wire in the complaint that they filed with the Delhi police. That has been contradicted by Divesh himself, where he said it's absolutely wrong to say that I'm unsound. So when a specific question was put to him about this kind of a characterization by The Wire of him, he rejected it outright. Then Kumar, this is The Wire's charge, that Kumar confessed to fabricating all the material that was there at its disposal before it went ahead and published those stories starting with the 10th of October. He's rebutted this by saying the first 2 stories don't even have my byline. Like you said, Rahul, the first story carries Janvi Sen's byline and the second is co-authored by Siddharth Vardarajan as well as Janvi Sen. It's the third subsequent follow-up story published on the 15th that for the first time carries the byline of Divesh Kumar. What else does The Wire say? It says Divesh fabricated and supplied emails and videos. They said that they were at the receiving end of a deceit and a fraud perpetrated by Divesh, to which Divesh says many documents we received were false. So he's implying a collective responsibility on all the people who were part of The Wire who were responsible for publishing these stories starting from the 10th of October. Then The Wire says he wanted to damage Wire as well as its reputation, to which Divesh counters by saying our story on Meta had several mistakes, once again emphasizing the fact that this was a collective decision and a collective responsibility that everybody concerned with the story had to bear. Finally, either he did so on his own accord or at the other's behest. That's the charge that's being leveled by The Wire, for which they're seeking the judiciary's intervention and the legal intervention on the part of the Delhi police, to which Divesh says, I'm being probed like all other employees. So Divesh constantly emphasizing the fact that singular blame being accorded and attributed to him on the part of The Wire is simply not done. This was actually being done on the part of everybody concerned with regards to the stories that The Wire had put out on Meta, including the editor-in-chief, Siddharth Vardarajan.
Thanks indeed, Siddharth. Thanks indeed for putting that into perspective. Viewers, I hope you're understanding now what the issue is. My point is, India was maligned now, and it's quite clear, by falsehoods. Fakery, call it what you want to. Whether it was Divesh's fakery or it was The Wire's fakery, that a probe will determine now. But it was maligned by fakery. A tall yarn has been spun quite clearly for its propaganda value. That's pretty clear now. So why question the probe? Why are so many editors who subscribe to a point of view that the Wire seems to subscribe to, why are they today questioning a probe? The Wire's admitted. Their reporter is admitting. What's going on? Are they still trying to give a fig leaf to the Wire so that the institutions that use the Wire's reportage get an additional alibi to continue their attempts to malign our country, to show it up as some despotic, democratically backsliding, dark spot? Is that what it is? Let's ask some questions. And I want to open this up. And Dr. Suman C. Raman, a political analyst, is here with us. Sanjay Jha, Nilanjan Das, Ishkaran Bhandari, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, and Sanju Verma. All of them need no introduction, viewers. Dr. Suman C. Raman, let me ask you. It's quite clear now, whichever way you want to cut it. I mean, we've got the reporter who claims that, look, fake stuff, false stuff, made mistakes, etc. were either given to us, we didn't do our due diligence, we put it out there. So many times you have sat on this show and accused times now of doing all sorts of things, and you have never really held your punches. So I want to ask you, Dr. Suman C. Raman, if a tall yarn was spun for some sort of propaganda value and it was amplified obviously for propaganda value by Freedom House and all these other vested interests internationally, why should anyone be questioning the probe? What's the problem? Should this not be exposed? Should the Delhi police crawl back into its little burrow and say, let 10 more organizations go out there and expend fake news so that it is used by India's detractors, its baiters, to paint a dark picture? Is that what we want? Do you condemn the Editors Guild today? I'm asking you a straight question. Dr. Suman C. Raman, do you condemn the Editors Guild for going beyond its brief and trying to paint this particular probe as a witch hunt?
No, they did not. The Editors Guild unequivocally condemned the Wire for the manner in which they reported this story. Right? So that is in the second
Are you up with your facts?
In case you missed it, you can go back.
There is a latest statement. Dr. Raman, you are not up with facts. You haven't come researched. Usually you do. Maybe you are well researched when you need to take down this portal, this channel. But I'm sorry.
You're not going to let me speak.
I will.
Okay, you go ahead.
One second. Yes.
Go
hang on.
Go ahead. You're not going to let me speak.
Siddharth Talia is going to bring out the latest. 1 second, viewers. 1 second, doctor. The latest Editors Guild statement comes out and questions the motives of the Delhi crime branch.
Phones were seized.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
1 second.
Finish.
The hash value of the mobile phones should have been given as per the IT Act. In fact, in your own interview with Devesh, that is exactly what he said, that he asked for the hash value to be given and it was not given. So there is always a possibility that something could be planted on those devices at any point of time. Now, these are things which have been questioned by the Editors Guild. And if you say that also should not be questioned, they have questioned two things. They have questioned the undue haste and they've questioned the manner in which these so-called quote-unquote raids or searches have been carried out and the manner in which this material has been seized without ensuring that no evidence, quote-unquote evidence, can be planted on these devices in future. That is a very, very serious charge. I don't know whether you're
now just hang on. Now, 1 second, doctor. We've heard you. Here is a statement. The haste with which... 1 minute. Ho gaya, sir. You've given your point. You're talking through your hat. Now, let me just very quickly put this in perspective. Dr. Ranganathan is also listening in. Now, listen to me. One spin doctor to the real doctor. Let me go to the real doctor. 1 second. Give me 30 seconds. Now, viewers, quote unquote, the haste with which the police searches were carried out in multiple locations is excessive and disproportionate, and in the manner of a fishing and roving inquiry, unquote. This after the Delhi police issued notices to the wire. Come join our probe. Now viewers, this is the same guild that said let's lock up certain other editors. How dare they transgress the values of this hallowed profession called journalists? These are hypocrites. They've got very cozy jobs, you see. They sit and lecture, sinecures.
Rahul, there
go
is
do a job.
By
no, hang on, 1 second, doctor.
On Twitter.
Go do a job.
At
go do a job. Go do a job.
People may want to read that thread
Put your hand on the Bible of journalism and do an honest day's work. Don't sit in sinecures and live off the fat. The haste with which the police searches were carried out in multiple locations is excessive and disproportionate, and in the manner of a fishing and roving inquiry, unquote. India's image is maligned. People are admitting that their reportage...
Hash value.
Listen 1 second. Don't make a hash of things, doctor. Calm down.
You're not talking about that at all.
Don't make a hash of things. Don't make a hash of
the Editors Guild has raised.
I am reading this statement, quote unquote, from your favorite newspaper, The Hindu. Why are you crucifying me?
Read 2 sentences later.
I can read all those sentences. But this is a fishing and roving inquiry. You get a warrant.
Please.
You issue a notice. Hang on 1 second. You issue a notice. You come with a warrant. What is fishing and roving? Should they not inquire? Should any Joe Blow get up and be allowed to go out there? No, 1 second. Go out there and rubbish this country, part of a larger propaganda to malign its image, and then think that with the right virtue signaling, they will be let off. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make of this? I find it preposterous. Now, notices were issued to the wire under section 91 of the CRPC. The wire itself has acknowledged this. But this gentleman who's wearing blinkers doesn't even read the wire's own statement. What is one to say, Dr. Ranganathan?
You have not spoken of the fact that the hash value has not been given and the devices could be tampered with. You're not answering the fundamental question.
Listen to people who are not biased in this. Okay, listen to some other people. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Good evening, Rahul. Look, the worst kind of crime in the field of journalism is to first share credit with your colleagues for the expose of the story, to share the byline space, to confirm and reconfirm and interact with the sources, claim, yes, you know the sources, and then throw your colleague under the bus when things go wrong. And this is what The Wire and its editors have done. If they had any credibility, they'd have resigned before their colleague did, but quite the opposite. Here they are shamelessly accusing him of suffering from a mental illness. Now you showed the interview of this reporter. Does he look under any circumstances to be mentally ill? Absolutely not. To paraphrase Kennedy, ask not how these journalists became frauds. Ask how these frauds became journalists. As you would have realized by now, Rahul, The Wire is a methane-spewing landfill of lies, fraud and selectivity. And every now and then, the methane self-combusts and the putrid smell is all pervasive. You must also realize that these fraudsters are the dregs of the society, utter failures in life, unemployable and surviving only because some geriatric jellyfish hobbling around in a zimmer frame 1,000 miles away and dreaming of a rose-tinted revolution throws some pennies in their piss pot. Look at the victim card they are now playing, outraging at the computers being confiscated. Well, do you remember in 2017 that even Jay Shah had filed a criminal defamation suit against The Wire? But was the editor's computer confiscated then? No, because this present case is also a case of fraud and forgery. But then logic is never the strong point of these leftists and their kitty party cabal. My first exposure, Rahul, to the fraud their editor shamelessly perpetrated came from his vilification of Narendra Modi in 2002, when he shamelessly half-quoted the action-reaction remark and made a monster out of Modi. And by the way, the same Wire later rationalized the Mumbai blast as a reaction to the 93 riots. Then there was this journalist Shalini who went on record to say that the same editor pulled back her stories exposing the Vadra land scam for 7 months. Then the management of the Hindu went on record to say that the current editor of the Wire was sacked because they did not allow reports concerning Modi and his election rallies to come onto the front page. Rahul, please understand, you are dealing with deeply frustrated, underconfident, anti-science, bitter and hateful people who are embarrassed by the world laughing at their intelligence and the ideology they espouse. From the fake church attack to Justice Loya to Rafale to selective lynchings to Ayodhya judgment to hijab to Pegasus. They have been exposed every single time. But every single time they brazen it out. In the garb of being virulently anti-Modi, they are anti-progress, anti-human rights and anti-everything. Their stand on farm bills, CA and 370 has proven this. That is why I say, when landfill spews methane, sooner or later it self-ignites and the sulfur is wafting in. Rahul, just 10 seconds. You know, Wire has, retracted the stories that were carried by Washington Post and Bloomberg. Those stories, I don't want to show this, but I have to show this because people won't believe it. This is the same Washington Post. That story retracted by the Wire and cited by Washington Post is still carried as of this moment. So that shows the standard of the journalism. And can I please say to the previous panelists, you are saying Divesh is suffering from mental illness. But at the same time, you are believing Divesh when he talks about some hashtag being there. Have you got the police report? Does the police say we did not give the hashtag? Ek bar you don't believe him. But when it suits you, you believe him.
No, excuse me.
This is the journalism of the Wire.
The Editors Guild also says the same thing.
Yeah, the Editors Guild, sir, is not Sherlock Holmes.
That the hash values were not given.
Hang on, 1 second.
That
the Editors Guild
were not given.
The Editors Guild is not Sherlock Holmes. They have no powers to go and... No, 1 second. This claim was first made by the Wire. Why are you in such a hurry to believe the Wire? How do you know?
Have you been? Let the police deny it. Let them say that the hash value was given.
Do they have to come out and... Do they have to... Look, I'll ask those questions of the Delhi police. We are going to be speaking to them tomorrow. We hopefully are going to be interviewing one of those individuals who's in charge of this probe, and we will put those questions to them. As of now,
one
second, Dr. Raman, please. Now,
Rahul,
don't keep...
there is a very long Twitter thread. I don't want to mention
stop basing your life. Stop basing your life.
But there is a very
stop basing your life on Twitter's.
So please,
Twitter's inputs. Please
you can
do some independent confirmation of your own. Don't become gullible. You are an educated person. I am telling you, excuse me, sir, that the Wire itself has come out.
That is why I am telling you
the Wire itself has come out and conceded that it was issued notices.
They have already apologized. They have retracted the
story. So it's okay. Everything, all is okay. All is okay because they've apologized. Galti ho gayi ji, sorry.
Dr. Ranganathan is
it's
okay
all very
with
well.
The hash value not being
you see,
given
viewers,
and evidence being
the
planted.
same.
That's fine. That's his choice.
Okay, come. Okay, now. Okay.
Potentially.
Okay, sir, ho gaya.
What kind of a lame argument
One second. You see, viewers.
With due respect, because you quoted me, you just now mentioned
it is a fundamental part of any investigation, sir. When a mobile device is seized, it is a standard part of investigation. It is there in the
No, he has no police version. He has the Wire's version because the Wire is the epitome of truth in this country.
Let the police refute it. Let the police.
May I please
say we have given it to them.
Okay, one second.
You can't have it both ways.
One second. Sanju Verma, 1 second. Let me bring in Sanju Verma. Okay, Dr. Raman, now please stop disrupting. You're eating up time. You are eating up time that is reserved for other people also. Making a facetious point, it's okay. You're allowed to make facetious points. You made them once, you made them twice, you made them thrice, you made them 4 times. Sir, air also dissipates after the first time it is, 1 second, expended. आपका तो air एकदम वापस आता रहता है. Odd. Very odd.
You can say what you want.
Okay, please.
That is a fact.
Yeah, no, it's not a fact, sir. It's a fact according to Dr. Raman and the Wire.
It
the
is
Wire,
a fact.
I don't know if it deals with facts
according
anymore.
to the Editors Guild of India.
I don't know.
There is,
oh my God.
The Editors Guild is simply picking up a statement that has been made by the Wire. They have no independent confirmation. They have not gone out there and interrogated the police.
A vicious cabal of these.
Devesh said the same thing.
Okay. Let me bring in Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma on the points that Dr. Sumant C. Raman are making. There's only one point, and he says, oh, there has been large-scale wrongdoing by the police. They haven't shared the hash, code, number, etc. with the wire. Respond. Respond.
Rahul, I have noticed, the other side, and Mr. Sumansi Raman included, they have this tendency to always digress from the core, the main issue at hand. And, today is no different. There is a famous saying by Sophocles, it's better to fail with honor than succeed by fraud. But I think, honor is something that is completely alien to a certain cabal, the leader of which is Wire the Liar, which obviously stands for hire and ingratiates itself to the highest bidder. First and foremost, very quickly, let me tell Mr. Raman that you make a genuine mistake, you can dismiss a reportage as fake news or gross oversight or negligence if it happens once, it happens twice, it happens thrice. But in the case of Wire, it has been happening umpteen times, right from the Rafale story to the insurrection on Republic Day last year, to reportage on the farm
What
protest.
about Mr. Malviya?
Can I please finish, Mr. Raman? Have the decency to not heckle. I did not heckle you. I did not heckle you. You will get your time to rebut. Right from the Rafale story to the reportage on the insurrection during Republic Day last year to the reportage on the farm protest to undermining the veracity of Covaxin and saying that Covaxin is actually dangerous. Post which I remember the likes of Jairam Ramesh came out with tweets saying that the Modi government is using Indians as guinea pigs. That is the kind of damage the Wire has repeatedly done. And what's funny is the mendacity and the hypocrisy of this cabal.
No, one second.
Rahul, please, I heard a lot of people.
No,
I want to end by
I just
saying
want
this.
to make one small interjection, ma'am. It's in our interest also. Please give me 30 seconds and you can come. I can come back to you with a counter question also. 1 second. Viewers, look. A lot of things are being said about the Wire today. A lot of adjectives are being used. Now, I'm no fan of the Wire, but it is rather unfair that when their editors are not here, these words are being thrown about. Now, viewers, that's not what I began by saying. I am not here to take down another media organization. That's not what I do. My biggest concern tonight is India's image. And my biggest concern is the Wire retracts the story, but the larger ecosystem comes screaming in to defend the Wire, by extension its reportage. You'll have people who will now question even the police probe. The Editors Guild has done so, which is not, viewers, not acted in the past with uniformity. That much you can see by its public declarations. Assess what it has said about others who have been either exposed or are being persecuted by the police, etc. Their long silences, their long... But all of that doesn't matter tonight. We're not even here to question the Editors Guild. We are here to question the ecosystem that is still trying to provide a fig leaf so that that slander that led to India's image being dented remains in place. That black taint, that blot, that's what worries me. And I think that's what Dr. Ranganathan referred to when he said, I want to show you the fact that some of these organizations haven't still deleted their articles based on the reportage that the Wire itself has retracted. Why haven't they done so? Unless, of course, they have some sort of an agenda. Sanju Verma.
Thank you, Rahul. Rahul, I agree with you. The aim here is not to take pot shots at any given individual. But, while you may have your limitations, Rahul, and very respectfully to you, there are occasions when I have limitations, but on this count, I don't have any. And I will call out the bluff of the Editors Guild because, look at the statement by them today at 11:57 a.m., which is also the pinned tweet. I want to ask Seema Mustafa, the president of Editors Guild. I want to ask Anant Nath, the general secretary of the Editors Guild. And I want to ask Shriram Pawar, the treasurer of the Editors Guild. What do you mean when you say that the searches by the Delhi police were carried out at multiple locations in a manner that is excessive, disproportionate, and in the manner of a fishing and roving inquiry. And then you have the audacity, the Editors Guild is who I'm talking of, to say that the searches are in violation of established rules and in intimidatory manner, which is very alarming. What is so intimidatory about conducting searches against an organization which tried to malign the government, was pushed to the wall, has been accused of forgery? This is not a case of just fake news.
Okay.
The charges under which
Let's get Sanjay Jha
proscribed are sections 468, 469, 471, 420, 120B, 34. These are pertaining to forgery, usurping somebody else's identity. It is no longer a plain vanilla case of merely dishing out fake news.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, would you like to respond to Sanju Verma?
Rahul, I think I would like to stick to the germane point that you made earlier on your program.
Yeah.
We should worry about who is sullying and tarnishing India's reputation. And if I'm not interrupted, I'll just take 1 minute to tell you who is really damaging the brand equity of this great country.
Right.
Kindly ensure I'm not interrupted. I'll take only 30 seconds.
Sure.
You know, those who are responsible for the Morbi footbridge tragedy, they have ridiculed our country before the world. Number two, the Bilkis Banu rapists, the convicted people who have been freed, and a government that sits quiet, they are the ones who damage India's reputation.
Let him finish.
Third, the Supreme Court
Let him finish. Let him finish. Sanju Verma, lower your fader.
That's what damages India's
please.
reputation. Now, let me finish.
Yeah.
I'm just taking 2 more points. The electoral bonds, where one political party gets 95% of the funds in a most opaque system, which only corrupts India's democracy, that's what damages India's reputation. Operation Lotus, where MLAs are bought and sold with the complete connivance of the government at the center, using enforcement directorate, income tax, and the power of money, that's what damages India's reputation. And let the BJP be the last persons on earth to come here and lecture the viewers of Times Now through some self-righteous, absolute nonsense that India's brand equity can be destroyed by one news portal. I agree that the wire went wrong in this investigation.
Sanjay Jha, don't turn a blind eye to the facts. The facts are that the tech fog story that Rahul Gandhi amplified, that the Congress party amplified lustily, that large number of other associated ecosystem warriors amplified, internationally amplified, Freedom House amplified, used to downgrade India's democratic rating. Let's not run away from that. No, Sanjay Jha, hang on. There was, Sanjay Verma, let me finish, please. There was a repercussion.
Don't be so thin-skinned.
There was a repercussion.
There was a repercussion.
No, hang on. Sanjay Jha.
Unless they believe it is true.
Sanjay Jha.
Guilty conscience, probably.
No. Don't be so opportunistic tonight. Because the same Freedom House ratings were used by the Congress to say, look what's happening. My gosh, India has become a despotic country ruled by a despot. And today he's saying, don't be so thin-skinned. Don't bother about what Freedom House is doing. Don't be a hypocrite. Please, Sanju Verma wants to respond to you on the larger points you have raised.
Can she answer to my 5 charges?
She's answering to you.
Let her answer.
Sanju Verma, please respond.
Stop heckling.
Who has damaged
You made
India's
disturbing allegations.
Okay.
Please.
Sanju Verma, respond to Sanjay Jha.
I'm saying this, for the record on Rahul's show. Anybody who's involved with the Morbi tragedy, right, till the very top, they need to be brought to book with no ifs or buts whatsoever. Can Sanjay Jha say that? Who are being shielded by Ashok Gehlot, will they be brought to book? Your Prasadi Lal Meena, the health minister in Rajasthan, is a rape accused. Your Rajasthan Minister Mahesh Joshi's son, Rohit Joshi, is a rape accused.
Sanju Verma, are you referring to the security guard and the ticket collector?
Okay.
Accused enslaved in Rajasthan, who are being shielded by Rahul Gandhi. Do you have some shame? Did Priyanka Vadra visit the Alvar gang rape victim? She was busy holidaying in Ranthambore. And you have the audacity to lecture me? Why was Priyanka Vadra holidaying in Ranthambore when the Alvar gang rape happened? And then she said, rape to hua hi nahi? Ashok Gehlot said, rape to hua hi nahi? At least have the decency to admit that damage
One
has
second.
been done.
One second.
Measures need to be taken.
One second. Let me open this up further. Okay. Nilanjan Das very peacefully has been listening in, and so has Ishkaran Bhandari. Both of them have got a raw deal because 38 minutes have passed. And it's not fair on them. Ishkaran Bhandari, where do you come in? You are hearing a large number of people who still provide an alibi, call it what you want to, for Wire by questioning the probe. Why is this happening? Nilanjan Das will respond to you. Yes.
Rahul, there are 3 points to this debate. Global, morality and the crime. Let's deal with the global. Wikipedia as of today also doesn't have any mention of it either on Wire or on Siddharth Vardhajan's page. This is how the global cabal works. A prime time debate, a criminal case on a person facing forgery, fabrication allegations against Meta, a company of global interest, has no mention. It has been wiped off. Thank God for debate by you, otherwise they would have suppressed it. Second aspect of it, why they are trying to cover it up. Obviously, they feel if today one criminal who's forging news is caught, tomorrow it could come to us also. So let us be a journalist and not be a criminal. Let us try to maintain that pretense, even though it's not a case of fake news. It's a case of forgery. Fundamentally different from a case of fake news or a case of speech. It is a case of forgery. It is not a case of hate speech. So please be very clear. It is not speech-based offense. It is document forgery-based offense on which criterions are very, very different. Let us now on be the third aspect of this. Communists have always had a theory of useful idiots. I am not calling Divesh Kumar a useful idiot. He was hand in glove. But what they have done, when it is a morality on who runs the byline, who gets the credit, his name is not taken. But suddenly, he is the most important person who was mentally unstable when an FIR is registered. So let me stick to the law. When two accused put counter allegations on each other, what does the police... Let me finish. Don't interrupt. Because his name was not in the byline. Now let me finish.
Why is his name not in the FIR?
Let me finish. Arey Baba, because his name is not on the byline, how is the complainant supposed to know?
It was in the subsequent
Now let me finish. Rahul, can I complete my point if they don't interrupt me?
He himself has acknowledged
if they don't interrupt
me, you didn't see the interview.
Can I finish
You didn't see the interview.
Can I finish my point? The original story, the origination did not have his name. Probably that's what the complainant thought, though it's for the complainant to answer. But the most important point, traditionally in criminal law, if accused point fingers at each other, what does the police do? Custodial interrogation where they are confronted. So probably because they are casting allegations on each other that I didn't do it, he did it, I didn't do it, they need to be arrested, confronted with each other, and that is the normal investigative process which should be carried out so we get to know who is involved.
Okay. Nilanjan Das, respond to Ishkaran Bhandari on the points he's raised, saying that there is no overreach here. This is a crime under the IPC that extends beyond making the odd mistake arising out of due diligence. This is criminal conspiracy 120B and forgery and cheating. Please respond, sir.
Rahul, it's all this investigation and everything, the police action has been carried out following Mr. Amit Malviya's complaint. So what is the need for all this, the police action, the police going in and seizing stuffs and all this? I don't understand. This is number one. And number two, the Wire has already retracted all its articles. So whatever the police is doing right now is being done under political pressure. It's quite evident. Everyone can understand that. And it is also being done to, so that we don't discuss the other important issues that the country is facing. We are not discussing the bridge collapse that happened in Gujarat. We are discussing this Wire, the portal. So it's quite amazing. And this coming from the BJP and BJP's IT cell chief is, laughable. Because Mr. Malviya, we all know, is the fake news fountain for this country. Each and every day, he does it on a regular basis. I guess he's the first person in India whose tweet was flagged to be having manipulative, content by the Twitter. So for a person of such repute or disrepute to go and talk about fake news or some fake articles is really laughable.
It doesn't
He
really
does it
matter,
on a
does
regular
it?
basis.
Viewers,
He's
it doesn't
quite
matter.
experienced
You
in
might be a person. You might be a person who is a spewer, according to Nilanjan Das, of fake news, etc. But that doesn't stop you from taking action when you are being targeted. I don't understand the logic here. Just because you are a person, tomorrow they'll say that a shoplifter of known antecedents who gets thrashed has no right
Rahul,
by a
this is
mob,
also-
has no right to file a case. I mean, this is bizarre, viewers. I mean, look
It's
at the
not
extent.
bizarre. You
No,
don't
one
talk
second.
about
No, no,
Mr.
one
Amit
second, one
Malviya's
second, one
life.
second, one
You
second.
keep on a regular basis.
He has the right.
doing it on a
You
regular
should jail him
basis.
if you
He has been
think
doing
he's
it to
no. One
manipulate
second,
the
Nilanjan
electorate.
Das. If you believe
He
that
is
he's such
doing
a
it on a
no, 1
regular
minute,
basis.
Nilanjan
I
Das.
never have
Nilanjan
done
Das.
one show
Nilanjan Das.
exposing the fakery of Mr. Amit Malviya. You
Okay,
have not done one.
Nilanjan Das. You can do that show.
No,
Have
what
I
is
stopped
stopping
you?
you from doing it? What
Have I
is
stopped
stopping
you
the
from
Times
making-
now?
Okay,
An independent
Why are
media
grapes so
house from
sour?
doing it?
Why are grapes so sour? He has not come out and admitted that I'm a fake news artist. Wait, today Siddharth Vardarajan has issued a statement. He's retracted his stories. He's
Of course
admitted
he has
to it.
retracted, but
So
look
then we
how
should forget it.
This BJP IT cell, it braces it.
Okay, so tomorrow,
Yes, it has been flagged
tomorrow, sir,
for
I
having
will expect the
manipulated
same.
media. And
Tomorrow, I
let's
shall
not
expect
delete
the
it.
same
It says
courtesy
Samit doesn't
from
do it.
Nilanjan Das,
And
from
the Times
Suman
now
C.
will
Raman and
never show
Sanjay
it.
Jha. If a top politician says that, look, I stole a little bit of money from the public, I'm really, really sorry about it, made a big mistake. Now let matters be. मैं वापस कर देता हूँ story पैसे. I'll give it to the persons, Mr. whoever it is, 1, 2, 3, here, take your money back. Thank you. Now I can go home. Thanks.
How
And
is
let
it
matters.
maligning India's image,
What
Rahul?
nonsense?
I want to ask you,
What
how is it
absolute-
maligning India's image?
You know what?
man is
Absolute
making-
bizarre nonsense.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
you
Dr.
take all this
Ranganathan.
bizarre
Dr.
nonsense
Ranganathan wants to
comments
come in.
from the national television.
Okay.
That country's image is
Okay,
torn apart
Nilanjan
and all
Das,
this rubbish.
Nilanjan Das. We can have a conversation offline about all your other petty grievances.
Rahul, may I
We'll come to
This
them.
is not about
One
my
second. No,
grievance.
I'll have that
Whatever you are
conversation. I'll
saying
call you right after.
Does not
Doctor.
have content, does not have, the basic, it has got nothing to base it on.
Rahul,
Oh,
now,
Doctor,
can I
Dr.
please, because
Suman
my
C.
name
Raman,
was taken.
final
Number
words.
one, let
Sorry,
me
Dr.
just-
Ranganathan, final one from you. Confuse my
let
doctor.
me just give you the facts.
Must be
As
easy.
for the previous panelists saying
Yeah.
that
Can I-
this is taking away the time and space that should be used for discussing the bridge collapse. For the last 3 days, Rahul, you have castigated not only the BJP but the Chief Minister and Narendra Modi for the mishap. Nobody can accuse you
I don't
of
need their
not spending
certificates.
enough time.
Doctor, I'm going to that
Number
story
two.
next, if they will allow me.
Yes.
I don't need any of their certificates.
Yes, number two, according to this logic, first of all, do you have a conveyor belt where you keep on getting this endless supply of these people who are illogical? By the same logic, if tomorrow this panelist tweet, some RB tweet is flagged and a crime is committed against him that damages his reputation, Photoshop, forgery, emails, by his own logic,
He
he should
needs
not
to
have
have
gone
some
to police.
reputation. He needs to have
By
some
his-
reputation, right?
Rahul, may I come in, please?
Okay, no, one second. I need to move on. Very importantly, viewers, to the Morbi story. I've already exceeded the time on this
Now,
debate,
why
and I
was that
regret
Mr.
that. 1 minute.
Malviya
Let me
is
just
a
move on.
fake news
Let